There we go. Good morning, friends. Happy Monday to you. This is our second Monday in our Thriving Through Collaboration series. I am very, very grateful to all the other diamonds that have kind of pooled their resources and their wisdom together to offer some kind of education, inspiration, empowerment each weekday during this quarantine time. We don't know how long it's going to last. And our promise to you is that we are just going to keep on sharing information as long as we can. And who knows, maybe we'll fall in love with this format and just carry on with it forever. I don't know. So for those of you that are new this morning, welcome. My name is Skyla Mann, and I am a Young Living Diamond from Central Iowa. And I have been with Young Living for somewhere around 13 years, which feels like forever. So I kind of feel like a grandma of Young Living at this point. But what that means is that we have had a lot of time to experiment with all of these oils and all of these techniques and to really find what works great for our family. So this morning, what I wanted to share was information about the Raindrop Technique. And I actually just did a raindrop for my husband Brian last night. And so I got out my trusty little bag. I fold this instructional thing up and I put it right in the center of this bag, and it holds all of the oils. And so for me, part of making healthcare at home easy is making it very accessible. And I know that I just have to look for this bag, grab it, and go to whatever bedroom the person is in, or we've got a massage table in the family room, and we can help just empower their bodies to do what they are designed to do. So this morning, I kind of just wanted to walk you through a little bit of why we do the raindrop, and also how we do the raindrop. Now, I'm not going to do a demonstration for you this morning, but I have some phenomenal resources that I'm going to pass along to you that you're going to be able to study more in depth on your own time. And I promise you that after you get done looking at these, you're going to feel completely empowered. You do not need to be certified in order to do a raindrop on somebody. And I want you guys to hear that loud and clear. I am not a certified massage therapist, but I feel very comfortable and very confident in giving raindrops to my family and my friends to help their bodies rise up to the occasion so that they can be strong and protected in times like these and in all times. So first of all, let's talk very, very basic. The Raindrop Technique collection is available. It comes in a box just like the Feelings Kit or like the Oils of Ancient Scripture. And this collection, if you're looking for it in your virtual office, it's item number 3137. And the good news is that the price and the PV match, so you get full PV, and it is only $138.75. And honestly, for everything that comes in this collection, you guys, that is a steal, okay? I did not take time this morning to price them out individually, but it is a very, very handy thing to have it all in one, and you can just stick it in a little pouch and be ready to go. So let's talk through the oils that are included. I've got them in here in order. You get a 5 ml bottle. All of the bottles in the collection are 5 milliliters, by the way. So a 5 ml bottle of Valor 2. Okay, that's what is coming with it now. You get an oregano, a thyme, and I've got the 15 ml bottle here because I needed to replace a few. We've got basil. So the good news is also, friends, If you have the Raindrop collection, you're also completely prepared to make a fantastic Italian dinner, okay? Just know that. That is what my bedroom smells like this morning. Like we were really cooking, but really it was just a raindrop. You get a 5 ml bottle of cypress, awesome for the circulatory system. Wintergreen, marjoram, aroma seeds, and peppermint. Now, there is one more oil that is recommended to have for the Raindrop Technique that is not included. So hopefully everybody has white angelica. Okay, this is a very important one for just protecting yourself energetically and spiritually, both for your own good and also for the good of the person that you are performing the raindrop on. So white angelica, not included in the kit, but I highly, highly recommend that you stick it in with your things. The other 2 items that are included are V6 and Ortho Ease. Okay, so these are the massage oils, and the pump comes with it. And one tip that I just like to continually remind people is these pumps are obviously necessary and wonderful for our massage bottles, but did you also know that they fit our lotion and our shampoo and our conditioner? So I just keep this bottle on the kitchen counter, and it works like a charm, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I just like that one-handed dispenser. I don't want to have to like shake, shake, shake and squeeze with all my might. So save these things, even if you have a bunch, because they're really handy for all those other products that we need pumps for. And your new members might appreciate that tip as well. Okay. I know, Britta, isn't that awesome? They're good for everything. So diverse and multifaceted. Okay, so here is the good news, my friends. I mentioned that we have tons of resources for you to learn. I know that everybody in here has probably heard of the raindrop. I'm curious though, and you can use the chat box for this, or you can raise your hand. How many of you have ever received a raindrop? Would you let us know if you have received one? And I'm also curious to know, has anyone in this group ever given a raindrop to someone? All right, good. I see a few people saying yes, they have. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, Chris, thank you for reminding us of 2 important things. Chris wrote in that she grew an inch after she received a raindrop, which by the way is very common. And so when you do these, you guys, it's very worthwhile to have someone measure you, put a piece of paper on the wall, stand next to it, draw a little line, and then do it again afterwards, because that is fascinating. We'll talk a little bit about why that happens. Also though, Chris also wrote she has helped give raindrops to horses. And I have done an equine class. It was absolutely fascinating. My horse that I was working on with my daughter became so relaxed, I thought she was going to collapse. No joke. She just kept, oh, you know how they shake it out, and she just like heavy breathing, and I thought, oh my gosh, this horse is going down. And it was beautiful because you could literally just see the stress come out of it in a way that I think is different than we can as humans, because they're standing and you can literally see them just shedding the stress. It was absolutely remarkable. So thank you to everybody who chimed in here. Let me just promise you this. By the time you are done with this session and you take some time to look into the resources that I'm going to tell you about, I promise you that every single one of you are going to feel equipped to do this. Okay, so the first resource that I want to share with you is our absolutely fantastic, totally necessary desk reference, okay? This comes from Life Science Publishers. The website is discoverlsp.com. And this one is the newest one. This is the 25th anniversary edition. And if you have the newest one, it's on page 298. Okay, that's where you're going to be looking. I also have an older edition. This is the 6th edition. And I was looking at that. The contents have changed a little bit. I didn't find that in the new one, I didn't find it was any less helpful. I mean, sometimes, you know, they say with each edition, they're kind of washing a little bit out. I don't feel that way about the Raindrop, but it is organized a little bit differently. So in the 6th edition, the Raindrop stuff starts, let's see, on page 401. And I want to read to you just a little bit about kind of the simple explanation of the Raindrop. It says the oils are dispensed like drops of rain. Okay, that's how it got its name, from a height of about 6 inches above the back. Starting from the low back, the oils are feathered with the back of the fingers up along the vertebrae and out over the back muscles and over the shoulders to the neck. Although the entire technique takes around 30 to 45 minutes to complete, the oils continue to work for several days as the healing and realignment takes place. How fantastic is that? So you can do a Raindrop treatment like I did on Brian last night and know that those oils are working, still penetrating his vertebrae and traveling throughout his body for probably the next 2 to 3 to 4 days. I think that is amazing. Bethany, the website is discoverlsp for lifesciencepublishers.com. Many recipients feel the benefits of the oils for several days afterwards as they recognize that the pain has decreased or completely gone. There's no fever. They might have more mobility. And now they have an overall feeling of peace and a renewed zest for life. How many of you would sign up for an overall feeling of increased peace and a renewed zest for life about right now? I think we could all take a double order of that. So it says, experiencing the wonderful results of a first-time Raindrop application does not mean that all the desired benefits will be realized. One Raindrop session might be just a time to balance and relax the body. Some individuals may feel they want to have a Raindrop once a week, once a month, or even every 3 to 4 months. Other individuals that are working on structural realignment or needing emotional support may choose to have Raindrop done on a weekly basis to continue with their progress. It is important to recognize that a healthy body is never attained by doing just one thing. Okay, I don't know how many times we need to remind ourselves of that and reiterate that, but you guys, nothing that we ever talk about is a singular silver bullet, okay? We are talking about part of a whole life wellness routine. So it says it's a result of a well-rounded program that includes exercise, proper diet, and sufficient sleep. I would add, well, they did too, I guess. Health is everything we do, say, see, eat, and think, along with, this is a big one for me, drinking plenty of water and getting enough sleep, okay? So always, always, always keep the big picture in mind, okay? So that's kind of just a little bit of background information leading up to it. The history of the Raindrop, just so that you guys know, Gary Young developed the Raindrop technique based on his research of essential oils and their antimicrobial properties. His knowledge of the VitaFlex technique, which we'll talk about, but that's kind of this rolling technique when you are stimulating the cells. His knowledge of the VitaFlex technique and its reflex points on the feet and fascinating information on the light stroking called effleurage and its effect on the muscular and nervous system. So listen to this. This was actually new information to me, you guys, and is a fantastic reminder that we are all continuing to learn all the time. In fact, Bethany, who's on the call, she and I just had a great conversation the other night, and I said, one of the things that is so important when you are talking to new people and talking to your team is to never ever give the false impression that you are the expert. And I model that really, really well to my team. I'm probably the least informed of everybody on the team. But what I want everyone to know is that we all have to keep learning. And I am still learning even this morning. So listen to this. While visiting with the Lakota people, Gary learned that for several generations before the US and Canadian border was established, the Lakota Indians migrated across it into the northern regions of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. There, they would often witness the northern lights or aurora borealis. Those who were ill or had complicated health problems would stand facing aurora borealis. They would hold their hands towards the light and inhale deeply. The Lakota believed that when the aurora borealis was visible, the air was charged with healing energy. They would mentally inhale this energy. Can you guys picture this? I mean, can you sense what that would be like? Okay, they're literally inhaling the energy. They would allow it to pass through their spine and onto other afflicted areas of the body through neurological pathways. Many experience dramatic healing effects simply through this practice. Like, I had never heard this story, you guys, and this is in this book, okay? There are still so many pages that I need to dive in and study. Eventually, after the border divided the US from Canada, making migrations to the north impossible, the Lakota began practicing this energy process mentally, coupled with light stroking to facilitate the spreading of energy throughout the body. It is believed that the Lakota people continued their practice of mentally processing energy, coupled with this effleurage, to distribute healing throughout the body. Gary said that he did not know if this is where the effleurage he taught, which is the feathered finger stroking, first originated, but it has become associated with this healing technique. Okay, I just found that part completely fascinating. And these are the little nuggets that I feel like are very important for us to piece together, because this was not just some, whiz bang idea that somebody thought of and they're like, oh, cool, if we drip a bunch of oil down the spine, somebody's going to feel better. There's so much story and so much reasoning behind all of this. Okay. So there's a lot of things in here. Dr. David Stewart has a little bit about statistical validation. If you are green and of the scientific mind, you are going to love reading that. It talks about how the raindrop technique is consistent with the French model. What happens in case of skin warming or reddening, how medical professionals use raindrop, microorganisms, and how they may cause scoliosis and sciatica. Interesting reading there, my friends. Physical relief and emotional release. And then here's what I wanted to show you. In this book, there are actually photos along with text that go step by step, and even by reading the text and looking at the photos, you can get a really, really great idea of exactly how this is done. But some of you are going to tell me, Skyla, I can't get this from a book. Like, I need to see it done. I need to kind of get my head wrapped around this. And so I have some really good news for you, okay? I am going to share with you, I'm going to share my screen for just a moment. Let's say a little prayer that this technology works. All right, watch this, friends. Oh, come on now. Come back to me. Okay, watch
the
this.
Raindrop Technique is a young living signature. Our members around the world study this technique, developed by Young Living founder D. Gary Young for its unique way of harmonizing, rejuvenating, relaxing, and aligning the body and mind. Whether you're experienced in Raindrop or you're just beginning to explore, join us for this simple step-by-step guide and discover for yourself this unique approach to mind-body wellness that emphasizes essential oils and accessing energy. Step 1, preparation. Make the setting for the Raindrop as relaxing as possible. Make sure the room is at a comfortable temperature, remove noise or distractions, set up a massage table, and cover it with a twin-size sheet. Put on an additional sheet to provide the recipient coverage and warmth. Set up the essential oils from the Raindrop Technique collection within easy reach. You'll need these oils in order: Valor 2, oregano, thyme, basil, cypress, wintergreen, marjoram, aroma seeds, peppermint. Though it is not necessary for a successful Raindrop or found in the kit, white angelica is also a helpful part of the technique. Be sure to have it nearby as well. Having all supplies immediately at hand will allow you to stay in continuous contact with the recipient, creating a stronger sense of security and comfort. Please keep in mind the following as you prepare to perform the Raindrop technique. Ask the recipient if he or she would first like to use the restroom. Keep your fingernails clean, well trimmed, and free from polish. Both facilitator and recipient should remove jewelry. Keep a bottle of V6 vegetable oil complex nearby. You may need it to dilute essential oils if they begin to irritate the skin. If for any reason essential oils come in contact with the eyes, use V6 oil to flush, not water. Offer the recipient plenty of water at the end to help flush toxins. The amount of essential oils may need to be increased or decreased depending on the age, size, and sensitivity of the recipient. For example, when performing the Raindrop technique on children, you should use less oil and dilute stronger oils with V6 vegetable oil complex before application to avoid irritation. You may also want to try a patch test for certain essential oils on the recipient prior to beginning the Raindrop. Everyone will experience the Raindrop technique differently. Recipients may experience fatigue, increased energy, emotional release, or other short-term effects. For each experience, always provide a safe and supportive space. Ensure that the recipient stays modest at all times. This helps maintain trust, respect, and feelings of security. While there is no specific criteria on who may or may not receive the Raindrop, some people may choose to avoid the Raindrop technique if they are pregnant or lactating, have a chronic disease, have had a reaction to any of the oils used in the technique, or have had a recent surgery or injury. To best support the goals of the Raindrop technique, also recommend that the recipient follow with a healthy diet and complementary Young Living supplements such as sulfurzyme, Digest and Cleanse, Multi-Greens, Life 5, Juvatone, Juva Power, Essential Zymes 4, Detoxzyme, and Alkaline. Offer the recipient a drape, gown, or bathrobe as you give him or her privacy to disrobe to the waist and remove shoes and socks. Before re-entering the room, ask to make sure he or she is lying face up on the table and is covered by the drape. Ask the recipient to rest his or her arms alongside the body with palms touching the thighs just below the hips. Apply white angelica to your shoulders, back of neck, and just below the center of your collarbone. Enter the room with a positive mindset. Your mindset is important and can help set the tone for both you and the recipient. Step 2, balancing body energy. Hold the recipient's ankles, then gently pull, stretch, and shake legs to release tension. Apply 3 to 6 drops of Valor 2 in the palm of your right hand and rub on the bottom of the recipient's right foot. Then apply 3 to 6 drops of Valor 2 to your left hand and rub on the bottom of the recipient's left foot. Place the palm of your right hand on the sole of the recipient's right foot and place the palm of your left hand on the sole of the left foot. Hold this position for 3 to 5 minutes or until you feel a connection of energy. Step 3, roll and release. To use the roll and release technique, start by placing 2 to 3 drops of oregano essential oil onto your left palm. And circle the fingertips of your right hand around the left palm 3 times clockwise. Be sure to complete this pattern before each repetition of the roll and release technique. To position the hand in the correct place, draw a line straight down from the ankle bone, ending at the front of the heel with the index finger. Cup the heel with the left hand for additional support. Position the right hand on the recipient's right foot by gripping the foot so that the fingertips rest on the spinal reflex points at the heel while the palm rests on the top of the foot. Roll the fingertips of the right hand forward so the nail flattens against the bottom of the recipient's foot. Roll the fingertips back to the original position with the pads of the fingertips on the bottom of the foot. Go from the pad to the fingertip, to the nail, and back to the pad. Pressure shouldn't be too light or too deep, but it should be a nice, secure, and firm pressure throughout. Repeat the roll and release technique along the entire length of the foot's spinal reflex points and off of the big toe, moving up about 1/4 of an inch each time. End with several roll and release movements with the index finger on the center pad of the big toe. Repeat the entire succession 2 additional times. The wrist movement should be similar to the motion of turning a doorknob. Change sides and repeat 3 times on the left foot using the opposite hand positioning. Place 2 to 3 drops onto your right palm and then circle the fingertips of your left hand around your right palm 3 times clockwise. Place the left hand on the recipient's left foot and grip the foot so that the fingertips rest on the reflex points at the heel while the palm rests on the top of the foot. Cup the heel with the right hand for additional support. Roll the fingertips of the left hand forward so the nail flattens against the bottom of the recipient's foot. Do the roll and release technique up the foot. Repeat 2 additional times on the left foot. Repeat the roll and release technique 3 times each on each foot with thyme, basil, cypress, wintergreen, marjoram, and peppermint essential oils in that order.
Okay, friends, I'm going to fast forward through this to get to a part where they're on the back. Okay.
Next, fan each horizontal section of the back 3 times by gently brushing the fingernails from the spine up and off the sides of the back. Conclude the fanning sequence by gently brushing the fingernails up from the base of the back along the entire length of the spine and up and off the shoulders. Complete the spinal application of essential oils in order with the variations we will demonstrate. Time. Hold the bottle 6 inches above the back and apply 2 to 4 drops on the spine. Then complete the feathering and fanning sequences. Both thyme and oregano essential oils are highly concentrated and may cause heat and even irritation to sensitive skin. If this occurs, add several drops of V6 vegetable oil complex to dilute and then continue as before. Basil. Hold the bottle 6 inches above the back and apply 3 to 4 drops to the sides of the spine. Then complete the feathering and fanning sequences. Finish the basal step by using the spinal tissue pull technique. Place hands side by side along the edge of the spine at the sacrum, with the fingers curved and the heels of the hands resting on the back. Complete 3 small clockwise motions using the pads of the fingertips to pull the muscle tissue towards you and away from the spine, and then return to the original position. Move up the spine to the neck using this motion. After finishing one side of the spine, move to the other side of the recipient and repeat the procedure. Repeat the spinal tissue pull 2 additional times on each side, alternating from side to side. Never apply direct pressure to the vertebrae. Cypress. Hold the bottle 6 inches above the back and apply 4 to 6 drops on both sides of the spine. Complete the feathering and fanning sequences and then perform the finger straddle technique. Stand near the recipient's shoulders, facing his or her feet. With the index and middle fingers of the left hand, straddle the spine at the sacrum. Place the bottom edge of the right hand with the pinky side down just below the middle joints of the 2 straddling fingers. Apply moderate downward pressure to the straddling fingers and saw back and forth with the top hand while pulling the straddling fingers to the hairline. Once at the atlas or base of the skull, use the straddled finger to gently pull toward the head 3 times. Repeat this process twice more. Wintergreen. Hold the bottle 6 inches above the back and apply 6 to 10 drops along both sides of the spine. Complete the feathering and fanning sequences, and then use the thumb roll technique. To perform the thumb roll technique, stand near the recipient's shoulder. Place both thumbs 1 inch apart on either side of the spine at the sacrum. The pads of the thumbs should be down, with one slightly higher than the other. Roll the thumbs so the nail flattens against the bottom of the recipient's back. Roll the thumbs back to the original position with the pads of the thumb on the recipient's back. Continue to roll the thumbs lightly, working up the spine in small increments from the sacrum to the atlas or base of the skull. Repeat this technique 2 more times. Marjoram. Hold the bottle 6 inches above the back and apply 3 to 4 drops on each side of the back and 3 to 4 drops on the spine. Immediately feather to distribute the oil, and then complete the feathering and fanning sequences. Follow with the circle hand massage technique. To perform the circle hand massage technique, place the palms of the hands near the sacrum on the right side of the back. Circle the hands in a firm clockwise motion 3 times, then move 2 hand lifts up and repeat all the way up to the base of the neck. Move to the left side of the back and repeat. Repeat the sequence 2 additional times, alternating side to side. Aroma Seize. Hold the bottle 6 inches above the back and apply 3 to 4 drops on each side of the back and 3 to 4 drops on the spine. Immediately feather to distribute the oil. And then complete the feathering and fanning sequences. Then follow with the palm slide technique. To perform the palm slide, place both palms on the recipient's back on each side of the spine. One hand should be higher than the other. Slide palms with moderate downward pressure in opposite directions, working up the length of the spine. Repeat this process 2 more times. Peppermint. Hold the bottle 6 inches above the back and apply 3 to 5 drops on the spine. Complete the feathering and fanning sequences. Valor 2. Hold the bottle above the back and apply 3 to 4 drops on each side of the back and 3 to 4 drops on the spine. Immediately feather to distribute the oil. And then complete the feathering and fanning sequences. Step 5. Complete the raindrop technique. Ask the recipient if he or she is comfortable. If the recipient is experiencing skin discomfort, use V6 vegetable oil complex to complete the raindrop. If the recipient is comfortable, use Ortho Ease. Depending on the recipient's response, dispense 2 pumps of either V6 or Ortho Ease into the palm of your hand and give the recipient a gentle massage over the shoulders and back. Ask the recipient to lie face up. Sit so your shoulders are parallel to the recipient's shoulders. Place both hands under the back of the head with the pads of the fingers resting at the base of the skull, which is also known as the occipital ridge. The recipient's head should remain on the table. Gently pull the head towards you in a soft rocking motion so the recipient's entire body moves towards you. Sustain this motion for 1 minute, then rest for 1 minute. Repeat this process 2 more times. Next, apply white angelica to the recipient's shoulders. And then place both hands above the recipient's nose to allow him or her to smell the oil. Finally, allow him or her to relax for 5 to 10 minutes. After several minutes of relaxation, instruct the recipient to drink plenty of water. As the facilitator, be sure to drink plenty of water as well. The Raindrop Technique is a unique way to help establish mind-body harmony and wellness. To continue your Raindrop journey, visit youngliving.com to find immersive trainings in your area. Because a license is required to perform massage in many states, please check with your state guidelines before performing the Raindrop Technique on individuals outside your family.
All right. Oh, friends, thank you for enjoying that with me. I just got to tell you, I wasn't really planning on sharing the entire video. But once she got started, I thought every technique for each oil is different, and we're this far in, so we may as well do it. Okay, so hopefully you all got the website written down, but just in case, it's just youngliving.com/raindrop. And all of that information is there and more. So please, when you get finished with this, I encourage you to go check that out. There's 2 more things that I want to add that have been very meaningful for me. Number 1, when I have received the Raindrop, one of my favorite things that people have kind of prepared the space and helped prepare me for was by asking me to set an intention for that particular Raindrop session. And that goes into our mindset and kind of what we focus our thoughts and our energies on. But I really do think that it's important when we do a technique like this to channel all of our energy towards whatever it is that we want done. So if it's emotional release, or if it's physical healing, or whatever, spiritual connection, whatever that might be, you really need to hold that in your mind as the technique is being performed. The second thing that I just wanted to add before we wrap up is this technique can be done obviously as what we just viewed for everything related to structure and spine and that sort of thing. But did you know that the Raindrop can also be customized, so to speak, using different oils for different issues? So if you are having respiratory issues, you can switch out some of the oils for things like Ravensara or RC or Breathe Again. If you are having endocrine system, hormonal balancing issues, you can switch out some of the oils for things like Lady Scleriol or Clary Sage. So that's where, and there's a whole section in here on customizing the Raindrop. So check in your desk reference. But that's where it can be very helpful to go to that personal usage guide in here and ask yourself, okay, what is it that I am wanting to work on? Pick the oils that resonate with you, and you can do muscle testing, or you can do an iTovi scan or a Zyto scan to find out what your body is asking for, and you can actually incorporate those into a personalized raindrop. All right. So you guys, that was a ton of information, but I thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm going to end our recording and